Hi, I'm Donald Brennan. This is one of my favorite places in New York, Brooklyn. From its brownstones to beautiful parks. I know the borough inside and out, from new development to resales to my neighborhood PIX. So grab a smartphone or a pad and pen while I share my 2 cents. It's fair to say that in many ways we still rely on the family farmer to help produce our food and fiber. These days, dozens of city or urban farmers are literally sprouting up in big cities. Don't believe me? Right now I'm standing among thousands of heads of lettuce, and I'm on a roof in the middle of a farm of Gotham Greens. From the outside, this building in Gowanus, Brooklyn may look like any other supermarket. But take a look above. It is actually home to a 20,000 square foot greenhouse for an innovative company called Gotham Greens. Can you tell us about the concept behind Gotham Greens?
Yeah, so the concept was to create a year-round farming operation that could provide New Yorkers with a year-round supply of premium quality, locally grown produce.
Great. Makes a lot of sense. And what do we have growing here right now in the greenhouse?
So this greenhouse, which is in Gowanus, is one of our 3 New York City greenhouses, and it specializes on a few different types of leafy greens and herbs. So at this time of the year, we're growing a lot of basil.
So what do we have here?
So we've got a few different basil varieties here. This is our Genovese basil. It's the classic Italian that you'd find in Italian cooking. Have a whiff of that there, right? And this is sort of a couple-week-old seedling here. And then we've got a few different varieties. This is a purple, also known as an opal basil. Just a very deep red purplish color. It's very popular as a garnish and has a nice flavor. And then I really want you to have a taste of this. This is our Thai basil. This is extremely fragrant and it's popular in Thai cooking, of course, and East Asian cooking. So have a little rub of that and maybe a taste, and you can just see the smell and feel that aroma pop.
Incredible.
It's pretty good, right? Yeah. And so at Gotham Greens, we focus on leafy greens and herbs. So this is part of our herb offering, but we also do about a dozen different types of lettuces, leafy greens, things like arugula, bok choy, kale, among others.
Great. Faraj Puri is more than just a Brooklyn pioneer, but an entrepreneur who has attracted national attention for his urban farming concept. Can you talk to us about the process?
Sure. Well, this form of agriculture is known as controlled environment agriculture. So as the name implies, we try to control the environment in the greenhouses to create the absolute optimal growing conditions for the crop. So we monitor temperature, humidity, light levels, CO2, oxygen, and then we have a lot of equipment at our disposal to create those optimal conditions for the crops. And then we also tightly monitor the nutrition, the pest management, and the goal is to just provide our customers with premium quality, locally grown produce year-round. So it's pretty high-tech. It's really a combination of science, technology, biology, chemistry, as well as running an operating food manufacturing business.
Yeah, all very impressive. Can you share with us a little bit about your support and backers for your undertaking here?
Sure. This greenhouse facility and all greenhouses are capital intensive, as you can imagine. There's a lot of technology, there's a lot of construction costs, permitting. So we've had to raise a little over $30 million until date in a combination of equity and debt. And we've also received some support from New York State, the New York City government, as well as the government of Chicago, where we also have an operation.
Yeah, well, pretty impressive model you got going here so far.
Thank you, appreciate it.
So we're here on the roof of Whole Foods. What is that relationship about?
This is a really unique greenhouse project. So we built our first one in Greenpoint, Brooklyn back in 2011, and we started selling our produce to Whole Foods, and we became one of their primary local suppliers of leafy greens year-round. So when Whole Foods developed a concept to build a new store in Gowanus on a former Superfund site, they really wanted it to be a very green, ecologically friendly site with a lot of green sort of technologies in it. And because we had become this really reliable local supplier, we started talking about actually building a greenhouse and operating a greenhouse on the roof of their new store. And the rest is history. It's a great partnership, and we really value their contributions to Gotham Greens.
Yeah, sounds like a sensible, symbiotic relationship you have there.
Exactly. Whole Foods has shown a lot of leadership in promoting local and sustainable food, and those are our core values as well.
With its climate-controlled environment, unlike conventional or rooftop farms, Gotham Greens is able to provide produce year-round. Can you explain the hydroponic growing process to us, please?
Of course. So when we started Gotham Greens, we were really committed to being an urban agriculture company, and we wanted to really grow in the heart of the city. But then when we started looking at arable land in the city, unfortunately a lot of the soil is contaminated. On top of that, we don't have a lot of open lots, and from a real estate perspective, there's a lot of competing interests compared to farming. So we started looking at technologies that would allow us to use very little space, but be able to use generate a lot of product from that small footprint. So we started looking at hydroponics as a really viable alternative. So the technology does not require soil. So essentially what we do is we dissolve minerals and nutrients into the irrigation water, and that irrigation water provides all the nutrition, dissolved oxygen, and of course the water to the plant's roots. And it's a very efficient form of farming. It's very productive. It's a sterile environment, so it's really well suited to not only rooftops but urban areas. So this greenhouse, to give you an idea of the efficiency, is about 20,000 square feet, which is half of an acre. Yet the yields that we produce are equivalent to a 10-acre farm.
That's incredible. And no weeding, right? So that cuts down on a little bit of labor.
Exactly. No weeding, and we don't have the need for herbicides, and we also eliminate the need for pesticides through an integrative pest management program. So this produce is also very sustainably grown. We use renewable energy, we recycle all of our irrigation water, and we're keeping harmful chemicals outside of consumers' bodies, but also outside of the ecosystem.
So, thriving business operation here. I understand you're growing and opening up other locations. Can you share some insight on that with us, please?
That's correct. We've subsequently grown and added 3 additional greenhouse facilities. So now we have 4, 3 of which are in New York City and 1 is in Chicago. So for the near future, we're looking to build more in both New York and Chicago, as well as expand to some other cities across the country.
Wow. So demand obviously very strong. Who's a typical buyer of your produce?
Typically it's supermarkets. We also sell to a few dozen restaurants in both the New York area as well as the Chicago area. So we sell to supermarkets like Whole Foods, D'Agostino, Key Food, ShopRite, some of the online retailers like Fresh Direct and Peapod, and all kinds of restaurants, food co-ops, and a portion of the produce that we grow also goes to those in need. We contribute to City Harvest and other nonprofit organizations that work in the areas of hunger relief and food rescue.
Gotham Greens is an example of a growing urban farm movement booming across the country. A thriving local business that is literally giving new meaning to the term buying local. I'm Donald Brennan of Brennan Real Estate.